Welcome back to Bless Your Heart, I'm Talking. This is your host, Zeta, and I have a little bit of an allergy situation right now. So I'm breathing kind of weird, and I'm coughing a little bit. So I keep trying to record, and I keep having to turn it off, and then I turn it on, and then I turn it off. So I think the only way that I'm going to get through this recording is to drink coffee as I go. I also had to put vapor rub on my chest just to help me breathe a little bit better. I have been trying to record. I got up at 3:20. I've been waiting for my voice to wake up, and it's just like not waking up. And so now I'm starting to think it's just might not wake up today. So we're going to record this with a little bit of a rough voice. It's a little Kathleen Turner-ish. Which is great. And I already kind of have that voice. So I just kind of feel like Kathleen Turner right now, if you know who that is. I had a friend named Tim who has passed away, and Tim used to always tell me my voice reminded him of Kathleen Turner. But typically that would be like if I was like drinking whiskey, but I'm not. It is first thing in the morning right now, and I am drinking coffee and just trying to breathe. So today's episode is perfect for me just sitting here drinking coffee, because this is definitely just like a drinking coffee type of conversation, because this podcast, like I've said before, is about everything and nothing at the same time. It's a front porch conversation, a Southern goodbye. And so something that I do is, and I put in my notes on my phone or on my little tablet thing, just whatever I'm thinking randomly throughout the week. And then when it's time to record, I kind of revisit it. I do the same thing for the other podcasts, but the other podcast is not a conversation podcast. It's just like a little banter. And so most of these just don't work for that podcast. So these are the ones meant for this one, basically. And they're all over the place. Like, it's ADHD'd out, and it is definitely, I'm definitely the type. Is it type B that doesn't know what they're doing all the time? Like, just constantly in a state of chaos? That's me. It's definitely not a type A, okay? So I'm like a little like tornado just kind of running around, okay? And part of these little type things are a reflection of what goes through my head. So I've been keeping these notes that I'm about to go over with you since I recorded a week ago. If this is not your type of podcast, this is your chance to exit, because this is what you're getting this week. With everything that's been going on in the media and in the real world right now, I just have tried my hardest to just not focus on that. And so I guess that makes me think of all these other things, because I'm listening to music and my brain's going. The first thing is that we got a creamer situation in this house. Me drinking coffee, we got a creamer situation. My son, there's those people that just go all in. Like, every time you get groceries, there's always that kid or that person in the house that's like, I've got to eat everything that I really like before anybody else gets to it. And I see it happen when someone has lived through going without. I've seen people do it when they have a large household of children, because that's the hierarchy. Like, one person gets it all and everybody knows it, so then everybody does it. So, like, you just never have a chance. And so I got to the point that we had to label things so that the kids knew who got what. Like, I literally would have to be like, Zaylee number 1, and she got like 3 of them, and it'd be like, I'd have to number them. That way she knew she couldn't eat anymore. She had hit all of hers. So you get the idea. Well, now there's only adults in this house. There's no kids in this house. But my daughter loves her some milk. We are a milk drinking family minus me. Everybody else that lives in this house likes a glass of milk or some cereal with milk, except me. I only cook with milk. You'll never catch me drinking milk. And Zoe in particular is a milkaholic. And Zaylee comes over to drink milk. She comes over, the first thing she does is pour a big ass glass of milk. And we are at about a 3-gallon a week limit. It would be 5 if we didn't just not do it. We could not afford that. There's too many people coming and going in this house, and every damn one of them think, oh, I know mom's got milk. And they go, and they don't have to live here. These are fly-by-night children as well. So we have an issue with milk. So by Saturday, it's hit or miss that there's still milk in the house because we grocery shop Sunday. Creamer is like, Zola and I are in a perpetual fight for creamer, okay? And we like the same kind of creamer. And so I typically buy like the really big creamer because it's cheaper just to buy it in bulk. But this effer will drink all of it by like Thursday. He doesn't like need to get up in the morning. I get up at like 4. I have 1 cup of coffee in the morning. 1. I make a big cup thing for Rick and I just take 1 cup and I drink it while I'm making him breakfast or while I'm getting ready, and slowly, like throughout the morning. And then I go get ready and, while he eats his breakfast. And then we go to work really early. But by Thursday, there's no more damn creamer. Okay? And it's not me. It's not me. And so then I went to buying 2 different creamers, 2 different flavors. So he knew this one's yours, this one's mine. He would still finish mine off. So then I was like, stop finishing my creamer off. But I have to say it every week. This is how autism works. I have to remind him every week. He's not doing it to be vicious. He doesn't know. He's just oblivious. So I woke up this morning it's Saturday morning. I woke up ready to clean. That's my thing, Saturday morning. If I'm not at the cabin or I'm not like traveling, I like to get up. Well, I just don't like to get up. I just am gonna get up because effing menopause. So I'm gonna get up at the crack of dawn, okay? And so 3:40, I'm up this morning to clean the house, all right? I go downstairs, I start cleaning. I make myself coffee. I look in there, no creamer. Of course, no creamer. So I'm like, okay, there's milk. Last week, same situation. I may have told the story last week. Last week, I went and made the coffee. I checked first, no creamer. There was a little bit of milk. I was like, perfect. I can have 2 cups of coffee out of that and have a little bit of milk left over. I go upstairs to change clothes out of my nightgown, come back downstairs. Zoe has gotten up out of her sleep, made a big-ass cup of milk, drank it, and threw away the container. And I had nothing to put in my coffee that was already brewing. And I almost lost my mind. So that's why that was the first thing on the list. You see my anger here. So we're going to go to a new level, all right? So we're going to stick with the different creamers, all right? But I'm going to hide my creamer in my refrigerator or Rick's refrigerator in the garage because I can't deal with this anymore. The other thing, y'all may not know this. This might come as a surprise to all of you, but I talk too much. That's right. And I don't, if he hadn't picked up on that, the fact that I sit here every week and talk to myself for 35 minutes probably says a lot. I've gotten better as I've gotten older to know when to shut up. And honestly, I kind of hit an arc on my talking too much. And that was when I was single mom in it, when I would see adults or get on social media, because I kind of use social media as a blog. Therefore, it looks like you're talking a lot. But really, I didn't have an adult to talk to, and I was just like playing around. Like I would just like tell them the funny parts of being a single parent because I found it funny. I now realize not everybody has my sense of humor. And to other people, it sometimes comes across in different ways. But that's my sense of humor. So to me, I have a Roseanne Barr, like make fun of yourself, type of sense of humor. And, middle class, just woman, middle-aged mom humor. And you know what? It is not for everybody. And so I've gotten better. Like I didn't talk a lot growing up. That's what's funny. I didn't talk a lot when I was young. I talked a little bit. I mean, I was in theater and stuff like that, but I don't think anyone described me as someone that talked. I don't remember anyone ever being like, hey, you talk too much. Now, my ex-husband, I dated him when I was in high school, and he talked a lot, and he definitely had ADHD. And I remember everyone being annoyed with him talking too much, but I didn't. But as I got older, it got kind of out of control. And I think it's because A, I've never been medicated for it. B, I hit a breaking point at about 30, and suddenly I talked a lot, and suddenly I had something to say, and suddenly I guess I felt repressed. I don't know. And suddenly I had a lot to say. I think it's because I didn't have anyone to talk to. And even when Rick and I were dating and I was raising the kids at home by myself, we were dating. We got to see each other Friday and Saturday night, and that was about it. We didn't see each other on weekdays, really. And we lived very separate lives all those years. And so it was very much a single parent home in that regard. He wasn't in our home. I didn't even let him stay the night in my home all those years. So it was... Now I got people at home to talk to that aren't little kids. Like even my children are adults now, so I can talk to them and have conversations with them about things other than telling them to put the shoes on, And so I don't talk as much. But I still talk maybe more than most. And I realize it sometimes annoys people. And I think as I get older, I realize how annoying I am to some people. And I just have to think it's funny because I don't want to go back in a box to make some strangers happy or old classmates or, relatives even or whoever doesn't like me for being me. And there's plenty of them. Then there's really not a lot I can do about that. I talk too much, so I'm just putting a disclaimer out there. Like, it's not going to get any better than it does naturally. Like, I'm not going to change it, is what I'm saying. It's just going to either just naturally change, which I am talking less than I used to, not counting when I'm recording, but I mean just in general. And so on that note, I had to call my ex-husband the other day. We'll catch up every once in a while about the kids. Like, he'll call her, I'll call him, and I'll be like, okay, this is what's going on with this kid, and this kid. I mean, our kids are adults, but, that we have kids in common. I talk to him and see the kids all the time. So I keep him up to date and his wife. And anyways, so we're calling about a situation with one of them that, we're both, we're talking about what the best course of action is, I guess. And we're talking about whatever. And we're talking about personality of one of the kids because it has to do with the conversation. And y'all, my glasses keep hitting this microphone. That's what that noise is. And so we're talking about all these things. And he said, Holly and I were talking about the other day about how Zol talks a lot for one thing. And so does he and I do, right? So you would think he takes after me. And he was like, I had to explain to her, no, he takes after Scott, not me. So Scott was owning it and like how he used to talk a lot. And he goes, and Zeta used to be real nice and soft-spoken kind of. And now he goes, ain't no offense, but you're aggressive and you're very like strong, opinionated and, loud. And he was like, I don't mean that rude. It's not a bad thing. And I was like, no, you are absolutely right. He's absolutely right. And we change with age. But I said, do you know why I'm like that? And he was like, no. And I was like, because I had to raise these 4 kids alone, 2 on the spectrum, and I had to deal with that. And my ex-husband made my life hell for about 8 years. Hell, okay? It was the messiest freaking divorce and post-divorce. It was very, very difficult when he was married to his second wife. This third one is such a blessing and has made such a difference. But it was very, very difficult, and it definitely changed who I was. So for him to tell me how he noticed a change in my personality and not having connected the dots was so funny to me. I'm not mad. Like, I like who I am, so whatever. It is what it is. It's all in the past. I don't, we're all good. But I just thought, what an epiphany moment for me and him clueless about it, probably. I don't know. But it was funny to have him like say it. I was like, And that goes back to me talking a lot. See where my head goes. This is all over the place. So on kind of the same note, this one is almost all about my personality flaws, I think. So I guess if anyone wants to make it another really bad review, you're going to get a lot of info out of this episode. So like take notes so you can be real creative when you type it into ChatGPT. So reading the room. Okay, y'all, listen. So, I have my girls, like my lifelong friends. So one of the girls, every once in a while, one of the girls will be like, hey, can we invite so-and-so to the cabin for a weekend when we do a girls' weekend? And I'll be like, yeah. I mean, I usually say yes because they know who's going to fit into our group or who's not. And if it doesn't work, they don't come back or whatever. Typically it just kind of just stays us and we rotate visitors. And So there used to be some other regulars, but the big group got too hard for me. So we're down to the core group. We one time a few years ago had one of the girls join one of their friends join the group who I did not know, but they all knew and had known for quite a while. And so she was lovely. We had a good time. But can you ever just sense someone doesn't really like you? Like you can just tell that you're not their cup of tea. That like kind of want you, like, I don't know how to explain it, but they're not there for me, and that's fine because I didn't invite them, someone else did. But almost like I'm not welcomed. That is kind of the vibe that was put out, but real indiscreetly. I don't know how else to explain it, and I rarely get that vibe, but I remember that vibe from high school. Like, the vibe. And I thought, I'm overthinking this because, I'm crazy a little bit, so it's possible. And I'm like, I might be overthinking this, menopause. And so I just kind of let it go, whatever. And so then we went to an event or two where this person was there with our friends, and we had a good time and everything. But the vibe always was still kind of there. So then I just kind of stopped accepting invitations when they were around, not because I didn't like them, but I just got that vibe. And whatever it is. And so then a few months later, one of the friends of ours, one of the mutual friends, was like, hey, yeah, no, she, said this and this. Like, she didn't, I was correct. The vibe was there. She did not care for me. And she said I don't read a room well. And she might be right sometimes, but sometimes I think all of us sometimes don't read a room well. Sometimes the room doesn't want us to read them. Sometimes the person is looking for that. And that was the vibe that I got. And so typically when I get that vibe, I purposely become more present to them while I'm around them. I don't like shriek in the corner. I just kind of put myself more in their direct sight of conversation or whatever. And I do it just to make sure that we're both uncomfortable. Because if you're going to make me uncomfortable in my own setting, in my own area, I am going to reciprocate. And is that petty? I don't know. I don't know if it is. I just don't like that kind of mean girl energy. And that's where that word comes from. It's an energy. It's like, the person doesn't like you, but they're not going to say it. But they don't. And it's clear, Anyways, since then, she's fallen out with a bunch of other people in that group and is no longer invited to events for whatever reason. I'm not part of that. And, but I've just found it ironic. And it kind of came up the other day in one of our group texts, and we were kind of laughing about it. But, of course, I was like, I'm going to talk about this. Isn't it funny how I'm 50 years old and things like that don't change? Like, you can go to a lunch with a bunch of girls and just tell one of them doesn't want you there. Like, that's crazy at this age. I think it's so weird. And it doesn't happen very often. Like, I was kind of taken aback by it because I experienced it in high school, but not really since then. It's weird as an adult. Like, it's a weird ick feeling. I don't like it. I don't even remember why I wrote this, and I almost think this is in the middle of the night, but this is the next one, and this is all it says. Number of times I use the restroom. I pee a lot. I've been to the doctor. Everything's healthy. I'm just menopause. I'm so tired of going to pee. I am so tired of peeing. I'm also currently on the menopause train of hot flashes, and I had them like a year ago, and then they went away, and the sleeping pattern issue also went away about a year ago, and it is both back with a vengeance. Y'all know. Okay. So, next thing. You do not have to fit into a type or a clique. That's so funny because you would think I was writing this about the previous conversation, but this was actually because something else brought it up. So Someone I know found out recently, someone I know that's younger, found out recently that their mother-in-law really doesn't like them, and they didn't know it. And I mean, they sensed it also, but like they found out their mother-in-law was like trying to talk their husband into separating because they didn't like the person, the wife. And it was such like a meaning, and the husband saw through it and stood up for his wife, and they're good and everything. It just really hurt my friend because she wants so bad to have a good relationship with the family and to be able to just be a cohesive family. And part of it was the feeling of like a clique or whatever, is that their family is just a little bit different than our family. They do things a little bit different. Not anything major, but there are some differences. And I just think they don't think she really belongs. And so it's hard to watch, I guess. And this is like she's not like related by blood, but related kind of via marriage, I guess, but feels like more like a friend. I don't know how to explain it. And like we're related, but know each other better as not relatives. We know each other. We weren't raised together. Anyways, it's hard. It's weird to me how often this is a problem. Like, it's weird to me how often people don't have good relationships with their in-laws, and it's over the silliest like things. Like, some people just don't like people. Some people just don't like new people and don't want new people in their lives. And it is unfortunate because like my kids' significant others are pretty great, and I mean, we really are blessed. And I call my son's girlfriend my daughter-in-law because she is, and she's just great. Like, and she comes from a very, very different background, and we think it's awesome. We like to hear about it. We want to be part of it. Like, my son loves being around it. We love to hear about it. We like to be around it. They're good people. I mean, it's just, we're not looking at it going, oh my God, they're different. We're looking at it like, hey, this is pretty cool. Look at this new part we got going on. Anyway, I think we need to be less cliquey. That's just what I was thinking at the time in my random thoughts. The other one was weird things I think. And weird things I think is brought on by this. And this is an anxiety thing, or like, this is where I do sometimes start thinking to myself, am I autistic also? So I don't think I am. But I think weird things, and I get anxiety about weird things. And I have done this my entire life, but I don't think I really recognized it was an issue until like maybe 15 years ago. And I was like, why do I do this? Why I catch myself thinking things, and I'm like, why am I doing that? So one of those things, and it changes throughout the years, but it'll go on long periods of time. Okay. So one of them is, when I can't even tell you some of them because they're just so weird. It's just going to like out me. But one of them is when I go up my stairs. So my house is 1.5 story, I guess. So the upstairs is above my garage, and it is a mother-in-law quarters basically, but we've turned it into the master. And so it's got a wraparound staircase from the downstairs up. It like you go up 4 or 5 stairs, and then you turn, go up 2 stairs, turn, and then you go up the rest of the stairs, 5 or 6 stairs. And so you're coming out of the garage, and there's a laundry room, and then there's a room at the base of the stairs, and all of that is tile. Okay, like laundry room type tile. And the stairs are wooden. And for some freaking weird, you got a problem in your head thing, Zeta, I do this weird thing where when I'm going up the stairs, I'm like, I have to hurry up and get up these stairs. Like, I need to get to a certain point of the stairs, because if for some odd reason a ton of water came into from that laundry room or from outside, this has never happened, by the way, and it splashed up these stairs, I would have a better chance of not getting electrocuted if I was not on that tile, which makes no sense either, y'all. That makes no sense. I'm well aware that none of this makes sense. I am not drinking. I am completely sober when I am thinking these things. It is completely anxiety related. It's not a major thought. It's almost like OCD. Like, when someone has OCD, like they really do. They're not just saying they have OCD, but they truly have OCD. And they have to turn the lights on 6 times before they leave the house. And then they're like, wait, they'll get to their car and they'll be like, wait, did I turn that light on and off 6 times or not? I better go back and do it again. And then they get trapped in that little thing that they have to just keep repeating that behavior. Okay, I'm not there. But I will think weird little things. I won't do weird things, but I will think little weird things. And then after I think it, like literally, I'm not up the stairs yet. I've had the thought, and then I've thought to myself, why do you do that? Why are you thinking that? What is wrong with you? And so then Rick does little weird things. So he'll say something to me and it'll just be off the cuff weird. It'll be like a little bit like over the top. And I'll look at him and he'll look at me and he'll be like, why'd I say that? I didn't even need to say that. And I was like, I don't know. It must go through your head. It just comes out your mouth and you shouldn't say it. It's like a little rude. And it's like funny, but it's rude. It's a little too much. And he's like, I don't even know. And like we laugh at it, right? It's the same idea. And I think a lot of people do this about different things. So like another thing is being raised in the era of the United States and guns and shootings. To me, this is the same thing. This is anxiety. But what if, when you go into a building, do you not immediately think that this is a safe aisle to be on? Where's the door? What's my plan? I definitely have a good chance in this part of this store. Because that is what I do in every store I go into. And I am not great at paying attention to things. Like Rick and I talk about it all the time. He wants me to pay better attention to my surroundings. And I want to pay better attention to my surroundings. But I have ADHD. It's really hard for me to pay attention to my surroundings. But I do in regards to the fact that I'm a woman and I know I have to know there's someone here and there's someone there. I just can't remember what they look like. Like literally, I walked past somebody that robbed a bank. I walked out of the bank as they were walking in the bank, and they kind of like touched my shoulder as we passed each other. That's how close we were. And he was parked directly next to me. I didn't even know it was a man. The police called me and questioned me because I actually literally should have been able to look them in the face and tell them what this guy looked like. That's how close we were. And I didn't even know it was a man. I am not even joking, y'all. So, in that regard, the fact that I go into Walmart or a grocery store or a gas station or a restaurant, and I'm always thinking, I need to know where I'm sitting, what I can see, how I can exit, where I can hide. That's anxiety. Another thing I do, I go into my building at work, and my building at work is a very large warehouse type building. And when I go into it, if there was a tornado, if you're from Tornado Alley, you got to have a plan. And if there was a tornado, we have a limited option. It's a Big 10 building. I worry about it. Is it safe? Probably. I don't freaking know. All I know is I have to make a plan. My anxiety knows I have to make a plan. Now the company makes us make a plan. We have a plan. But in my head, I'm like, is this the right plan? Who made this plan? How do they know the right plan? Let's talk about this plan. That is the anxiety of having lived through many tornadoes in Tornado Alley. So we all have these weird little thoughts. Now, the staircase one, I realize is extra weird. I probably shouldn't have led with that one. But that's the reality of the weird little things that go through my head. And do y'all do that? Is that anxiety? I bet if I could ask my sister, she could tell me exactly what it is. Because, she's a therapist. But then she'd be like, I don't give advice to family. Because that's what she says. Okay, so another thing that I wrote was men telling me how I feel, because I absolutely cannot stand when people try to tell me how I feel. Now, I can understand if Rick is telling me how I feel because Rick knows me really well. So, like, if Rick was like, it seems like you feel sad. Are you okay? Or it seems like, you're mad. Did I do something? Can I help? That is understandable. And if my kid said to me, "Are you okay, Mom? You seem like you're not yourself." Totally makes sense. If one of my best friends says it, totally makes sense. But if you don't really know me, like you don't have my phone number in your phone, like you've never one time had a conversation one-on-one with me, I don't really feel like you need to pick apart and decide that I mean anything. And lately, I have had more than one person, all men, tell me what I'm thinking. Occasionally in messages, sometimes just on like social media, but really in messages or in person. And it'll be like, you know what? Like one thing I was told is that somebody was trying to. They had decided that Facebook and social media need to be more positive, and so when they saw somebody they thought wasn't being positive, they were going to point them in a positive direction. The problem is they're misreading posts and not understanding that what's being posted is not sad or negative. It's a joke, or it's just a thought. And particularly because I use my social media as more of a post and a way to promote the podcast. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to get up there and pour my heart out to Rick and I got in a horrible fight, or, you know, something stupid like that. I'm going to use it as jokes about things that I would talk about on the podcast, or I'm going to use it about things I might talk about on the podcast, which might be, you know, I joke about my brother and my mom, and I joke about like death jokes about them, but like, you know, having coffee with my brother and it's his remains. Like, that's jokes my brother would have had with me. That's not me being sad. That's not me being, I don't know, trying to depress people. That's just me being my sense of humor. And when people try to tell me what I really mean by that or really think by that, I just find it really weird. And I mean, and that's just one example. There's other things too. And you just don't get my sense of humor because you're off. And I'm sorry that I'm not for everybody, I guess. And I love you, but I wish you got my sense of humor, but you don't. And I wish you got the fact that I am allowed to. I don't think everything's sad that you think is sad, and I don't think everything is me, you know, or I guess mad that you think is mad. Sometimes I'm just telling a joke and you just didn't get it. Or I'm just like thinking. Like I posted the other day the last time I posted about my brother and I really missed him at the moment was because I saw some pictures of him I had never seen before. And I wasn't looking at it like, oh my God, I can't live without him. I was looking at it like, damn, that was a good day. Like, I'd like to do that again. That's not mad. That's not depressed. That's just reality. And I think it all the time. And I know some people think that you should, like, some people are not comfortable with talking about the dead. Some people are not. I'm not one of those people. I don't think people die until you stop talking about them. So I do. And I know for some people, that's not how they think. And I respect that. And they need to respect how I think. But regardless, I'm not going to change how I think because you don't think the same way. And it doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make me wrong either. I mean, it's just, you know, fucking worry about you, I guess, is the best way to put it. Because I'm so freaking happy, y'all. I know that doesn't sound like it, but I am. I am honestly in the best place in my life right now. I am so happy. I like to be home. I've become a homebody. The last thing that's on my list in here is that I've become a homebody. That's the last thing that I wrote in my notes. And that's because I get opportunities to go places and I'm like, I want to stay home. I'm just cleaning the house and it's not dirty. I'm just doing it. Like I'm just finding things that I've been wanting to do, organizing something. Or today I'm going to pull all my winter clothes out and reorganize and try things on and put away some stuff I won't wear again for a few months and find my transition clothes and shoes and, you know, prepare for the next season, even though it's still 98 degrees outside, Texas. And that's what I'm doing today. And I was looking forward to it. And there's this big event this weekend in Waxahachie, which is the Chevy C10 body, biggest thing, blah, blah. And it's a big deal. It's a cool deal. It's really neat. I've been a number of years. Downtown gets crazy busy. And normally I go. And I just don't want to go. I just want to stay home and organize my closet. And I'm happy with that. And you know why I think that is? Because I don't need to go anywhere else because I'm happy at home. And it's pretty great here. Oh, that's all my random thoughts for this week. And I hope everybody had a great week. If you want to follow me on social media, it is Zeta Owens on Facebook. It is Z Mamacita on Instagram, or Bless Your Heart I'm Talking on Instagram. And, please write a review on Apple Podcast, do all that cool shit. And I appreciate y'all, and keep listening. And you can find merch on Principy, Zeta-Owens at Principy.com. Talk to you later.